Hello YouTube, Size17 here, but you can just call me Travis. And welcome back to another installment of Up Next on the Shelf, the series where we take a look at what's up next on the shelf. Yeah, let's just jump in. In the background, we are listening to, I just repped this album yesterday. This is Across the Line by Air Raid, definitely one of my favorite albums from this year. Super rad stuff. So let's turn it up. Yeah. Alright. I think it's 10. I'm not sure. Something like that. First up, this is, I actually, recently I was doing some shuffling, you know, putting away stuff, and a new CD was added to my Too Big, because it was on one of these rows, so you can see the difference with the gap size. So it was on a row like this, where it fit, but now it doesn't. So it's getting relegated to the Too Big, so we're putting it here. So obviously it's out of order. This is a Striborg with the Suffocating Existence. This is a, if you're not familiar with this band, they are a black metal band, solo, one guy, Sin Nana, out of Tasmania, Australia. I would liken this band, I guess, sort of to like maybe Zaster, although definitely less in your face and more kind of subtle and I don't know, creepy or something. This is Ray's Soul #1, the first thing they ever put out, as I would maybe understand it. Comes with this cool little digipack or whatever. But yeah, it came out in 2015. I actually really like this album. It's really good. It has some of my more favorite songs from Striborg. The Bermuda Forest and Sleep Paralysis in particular are really great stuff. If you are not familiar with this band but like stuff like Zaster and sort of you know, that kind of oddball DSBM stuff, definitely check this out. You'll probably like it. I have tons of their albums, but it'll probably be a while before I get to S, so it's kind of cool to talk about them. But I don't know, I'd probably put this album in the upper half for sure, but you know, I'm not really sure. He has tons of albums. But yeah, definitely good if you like Striborg already but never have listened to this one. So check it out. All right, next up, so back to the A's again. Solo. This one's Agoraphobic Nosebleed with Altered States of America. If you're not familiar with this band, it's a grindcore out of Massachusetts, US. It's a side project, I guess, of Scott Hall of Pig Destroyer. This is the only album that I have from this band, and actually it's the only one I've ever actually listened to. It's got, famously maybe, has 99 tracks on it. I think it clocks in like under 20 minutes though. I think it's 19 something. This is pretty cool. It's not my favorite thing or anything, but it's kind of fun for what it is. It really acts more as like a one single song that was cut up, but whatever. Pretty cool stuff. I would like to listen to more Agoraphobic Nosebleed, but just have never gotten around to doing it. But yeah, you know how it is. There's so much to listen to. This is pretty cool. Next four are from the same band, and that is awesome German funeral doom metalers Ahab. This is their first album, called The Wretched Sea. Is that what it's called? Yeah, The Call of the Wretched Sea. This album art is amazing. If you're not familiar with this band, like I said, they're funeral doom out of Germany. Really good stuff. Super slow, super menacing, just pounding. Death grunts, fabulous. It's, yeah, just, this is to me like funeral doom. This is like the epitome of it. Probably my favorite by the band. 2006, yeah, 2006 when this came out. Napalm. The follow-up, actually, they pretty much, I think they have literally released every 3 years. This one came out in 2009. This one's called The Divinity of Oceans. This is probably my second favorite. This album particularly, I was really into listening to it around one time in the winter when there was snow, and so I happened to be listening to it while driving back and forth to work, and it just was like perfect music to go along with that setting of, you know, trying not to die. Yeah. Also, really just, you know, the same thing. Funeral Doom, awesome Ahab stuff. You're familiar. If you listen to Ahab, I'm sure you've listened to this album. Next one up is The Giant. This one came out in 2012. This is when they start getting a little, I wouldn't say less funeral doomy, but they're starting to add a little more kind of like progressive elements. Maybe a little like, you know, maybe psychedelic rock, we'll say. But still definitely, still, you know, doing the general funeral doom stuff. Just maybe less of that overall. Still really good. Still like this one. Again, probably, you know, I think I would probably say I like each album progressively less than the one before it. But you know, it's kind of a high standard to live up to, especially with those first two. But this is still pretty good. Giant. And then lastly, this came out in 2015, so a couple years ago. So actually, I guess we should expect another album next year. This one is called, what is it called again? The Boats of the Glen, Carrig. This one has pretty cool art. Actually, I think they all pretty much have great art, to be honest. Again, this one, you know, started to dabble even more so in those progressive and psychedelic rock elements. Psychedelic rock's probably not the right term. I kind of want to say post-rock, but that's probably not true either. But definitely, they're dabbling in more stuff than just the doom and the funeral doom stuff. But still, don't want to make it sound like I don't like this album, because I do. It's still pretty good. Just not as good as the previous ones, but still worth checking out if you have not done so. Speaking of the devil, next up is Air Raid. This is the album that came out before the one we're listening to right now. This one's called Point of Impact. I'm not going to talk too much about this one. I showed it earlier in the year when I finally stopped being a stupid jerk face and got it. This album has a different singer than this one, so that's interesting to note. I like both, although I do like this guy better, so that's kind of cool that the more recent guy is more liked by me, but this guy's good too. They have another full-length album called Night of the Axe or something like that. I have not listened to that or got it. It's kind of it's a storm spell release, so I think it's storm spell. So you know, there's never lots of quantities, and to get it secondhand afterward is sometimes expensive, as is the case with that album. But maybe someday. I did recently pick up their EP that came out between that album and this one, which also has the same singer as this one, because the first album also has a different singer. That one's called Danger Ahead, I believe. It should arrive any day now, so I'm excited to get that and really dive in. Air Raid, quickly becoming one of my all-time favorite artists, as heavy metal just in general has really boomed this year, or at least boomed in terms of my self-awareness of it. But yeah, super great album. Definitely check it out if you like, you know, traditional heavy metal kind of stuff. Last three are from the same artist. This is not metal. When I first started really getting into kind of, you know, pop music, one artist that I really hopped on pretty quickly was Akon, who, if you're not familiar with him, he's just a pop singer, maybe dabbles a little bit in the R&B, but still sort of in the pop R&B side of things. So yeah, he has three albums that are sort of, I would say, loosely connected to each other, as they're called Konvicted, or no, sorry, Trouble, Konvicted, in Freedom. I would say I progressively like them better as they go along. This one came out in 2003, this one came out in 2006, and this one came out in 2008. Yeah, 2008. I originally checked out Akon because when I first was getting into pop music, a producer, which in terms of pop music, I always sort of use the word producer as the person who's generally creating the music, the person singing over the top of. It's sort of interesting how that word producer is used depending on which genre you're talking about. But anyway, that's how I'm using it. But anyway, producer goes by Red One. He was, you know, popularized. Actually, he did like a World Cup song. Actually, it was actually his first real big thing. But anyway, he was sort of popularized by doing a bunch of songs with Lady Gaga on her first album, The Game. Anyway, Akon was very responsible in sort of getting him over into the States because he lived in Sweden, but I think he's from Northern Africa country, right on the edge there. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, I think he's born there, but I think he's lived in Sweden most of his life. Anyway, Akon was, got him over into the States working with people over stateside, and so he actually had done a couple songs with Akon too, so that's what made me really check into Akon to see if I would like him. Because that's honestly one of the things I do a lot when I listen to pop music, and I listen to producers and find out who they're working with, and I check out artists that way, which is kind of a interesting way to do it. But yeah, so I listened to these and, you know, largely enjoyed a lot of it. Like I said, progressively like the stuff better, especially this one, Freedom. Definitely easily my favorite of his 3 albums. And also, this album is cool because it also introduced me to another producer that I really like, Giorgio 2&4, who is a Dutch producer, although he also is from Suriname, I want to say. That could be wrong on that. Anyway, I'm pretty sure he's Dutch, though. Also really great. He's another guy who I check to see who he's working with and check out those artists. But yeah, you know, I wouldn't say these are anywhere near my probably favorite, you know, in the pop end of things releases. They're pretty good. I would say Troublemaker and We Don't Care, 2 of my more favorite Akon songs, are both on Freedom. Smack That on Konvicted's pretty good. It has a Eminem verse on it, which is a pretty good verse by Eminem. And then yeah, what's the one? What's it called on this one? I really like Locked Up, probably from Trouble. But yeah, Akon's not my favorite, but he's pretty okay or whatever. I'm interested to see if he ever releases anything ever again. He's been, like I said, it's 2008, so it's been like almost a decade now. He has been, you know, keeps on talking about putting out stuff, and it keeps on getting more and more grandiose in terms of what he's putting out. Like last I heard, he was going to release 5 albums at the same time, and they were all going to have like their own specific vibe. Like one was going to be pop, one was going to be like a rap album, one was going to be like, you know, lack of knowledge for me, like an African music genre album, you know, that kind of thing. So each one was going to be a different style, but you know, whenever that's going to come out, I don't know. So I'll listen to it when it happens, but when it is going to be that it happens, well, I don't know. Anyway, that's enough rambling. So yeah, that's the 10 releases from this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you've listened to any of these albums, what do you think of them? Anyway, yeah, otherwise, have a good day.